Why am I so red?
You got red on you.
I
don't think the intro played for. Oh, I deleted the intro. That's why. So we didn't have an intro, guys.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. So let's go.
So,
Yeah, what up,
we got a
everybody?
new champ, guys. We got a couple new champs. But
We got a lot of new champs, actually.
before we talk about everything that we want to talk about, Todd, what's going on in ICW?
So this weekend, April 13th at the JFK Arena in Rome, New York, we have Road to Immortality. ICW, it's going to be a killer show. They haven't really announced a ton of the matches. There is going to be the first ever cage match for the tag team titles between Team Friendship, Adam Stone and Mike Skyros, and Edge of Hope, which I believe it's going to be Saren and Matic. And then they will have, I think it is a three-way for Garrett belt, I believe. And then they will have a Rumble as well.
Slick, Wagner Brown, the first ever champ, and Sean Carr, who's quite possibly one of the best in the area.
Yeah, it's gonna be a great show. If you're local, you can get tickets online. You get tickets at the door. If you get tickets online, cheaper than tickets at the door.
Yeah.
Oh, and Christina
Sawyer should be getting his hands.
Sawyer against Shane Stetson, and then what's her face? Is her name Christina? I believe that came back.
Christina Marie. Yep.
Yeah, she is defending her title against I can't remember who. I'm on the ball with this shit.
Yes.
Hey, for the most part, I was
real proud of you.
Thanks.
Yeah,
man.
someone started asking questions.
Eventually,
there have been a lot of matches announced because we know that obviously, those four matches, that's probably all you're going to need because you know that the cage match is going to be intense and long. A triple threat for the world title is going to be big. But then the other big match is the Rumble again, which I honestly hope ICW sticks with this idea of the Road to Immortality in Rome, a Rumble in Rome for the first show. It should just be something they do. Period.
It was great last year.
I can get behind that.
In my opinion, I don't have anything to do with creative or anything there, but I think it'd be good to do the King. That should be the King's Ransom match there from now on. Should be that. You know what I mean? That'd be a really good idea, but you never know. We'll see what happens. But last year, that match was incredible. Everyone loved it. That place was packed. It was the most people have ever seen it, and I used to go to all the 2CW shows.
Participated in that match, if I recall correctly.
I may have. I may have won the 24/7 title during that. I may have won.
I kind of remember that a little bit. I recall me and Todd assisting coming out and
yeah. Drew, I came out after and I took the title from Matic, who then beat the crap out of me at the next show for it.
It was fantastic. Sometime Garrett is going to have to send to you or put him in the Facebook chat because I'd love to watch them all again. Or
that'd be great.
He needs to have a nice montage. So there's this dude, Saren Rain, who is just an awesome motherfucker. The dude is, he's a great guy. He's a great wrestler, just all around.
He's emo HBK.
Yeah, dude, he is fucking the shit.
He's a really, really good wrestler.
Yeah, so it's because
he likes to super kick Garrett.
Yeah,
he's a terrible person. He's a terrible person, but he's a very good wrestler.
He's awesome. I'll make a super cut of it, and I'll put it on
First off, you don't need to. I have the super cut.
Perfect.
I already made it.
But there's the problem: is you have it, so you have the power not to release it. So you have to make.
I'm not going to do that. Like
Garrett,
like I'm not going to release the supercut.
Yeah.
All
Are
right,
you singing
so
karaoke back there, Garrett?
What?
I said, are you singing karaoke?
No, this is guitars and
that's his rock band.
and a bass and microphones and it's
and you
legit.
have Blockbuster in your
I
basement.
thought we were doing Wrestle Fandom and not MTV Cribs.
You're saying
Damn.
the space.
So this
All right.
Saturday, JFK Arena, Rome, ICW.
It'll be
You're watching this if you're local. I have tickets. Hit me up in Facebook Messenger, or if you have my number.
I was also told of somebody who's going to be in the Rumble that was in it last year, but I don't want to spoil it. But it was awesome. This person was awesome in it last year and very unexpected.
It was Garrett.
I wish.
Let Garrett fight. Let Garrett fight. Let Garrett fight.
It's not going to happen.
It's going to be a good show.
Yeah.
Now on to the Mania.
Cody's fucking champion. He finished the fucking story.
Let's do this in a logical order. Let's start with night 1. And then go on to night 2.
All right.
And then Joe can freak out.
And then I want everyone's grade on it. Like, what did everyone think? Overall, 2 nights combined, what you thought. Because we used to do that, right, Joe? We used to do a grade, what's a grade of, so I like that. So, match 1.
For a night?
Night 1, match 1.
Before we even get into the matches, who watched the Hall of Fame or any of the Hall of Fame?
I only watched Paul Heyman's.
I honestly have not gone. I've had 0 time to go back. I've seen clips of Paul and it was it.
Heyman's. Watch everything to do with Heyman's. The I'm a Paul Levesque guy thing will make even more sense to you guys.
I saw that. I saw.
I've seen that. I've seen
the whole entire thing.
Yeah.
I've always had
4 different clips.
I've always had a love for Paulie.
Yeah.
After his speech, seeing how emotional he's got, and as somebody who's kind of been having a midlife crisis myself, dealing with my mortality, seeing him from such a young age coming through it, the progression, and how moved he was when he was talking to his children. And then immediately flipped that switch and brought us all back to when, did you hear about this thing called ECW? I remember, dude, I don't even know if we had actually seen ECW at that point.
No, we were lucky enough to have kids come to the island and be like, you guys think this is great? Have you heard about ECW?
Yes.
No. What is it? They're like, barbed wire fences, explosions, chairs. Dude, it's crazy. And we're like, what?
And then I remember moving to Rome, and it must have been video to roll. Remember how they used to have the old, and it was copy of ECW, blah, blah, it was a random one. And I remember going, renting it, watching it, and then watching it, and then watching it, and just being blown, my mind being blown. And then when you have guys like Foley, the Dudleys, Austin work their way into it, and people forget how much influence that company had. Yeah, it didn't last long, like he says in his speech, but it made it changed the way the whole game was played.
Yeah,
especially in the United States. It took a lot of that.
Was that a Triple H reference?
Yeah.
Nice.
And I'm glad he's got his flowers, and he's still crushing it to this day.
Facts.
And it just that really did it for me. His speech and watching him put the leather jacket on, put the snapback on, have the old it made me feel young again for a little while. And I truly appreciate everything he's done, and the fact that he has not defecated on anybody that works under him.
Right. Like a month or so ago, on one of the
somebody.
Well, on one of the pages that came up on Facebook, it says something about say one word that describes Paul Heyman. And I went into the comments and I scrolled for a while looking, and some people wrote a sentence, some idiots wrote like whole paragraphs because obviously they can't read, and everyone just wrote like all these different things. And I scrolled for a while to make sure, and I was like, no one's gonna write the obvious answer. I'll do it. Dangerously. That's all I wrote. They wanted one word, I gave them the answer, and that it's Paulie Dangerous, and Paul Heyman is awesome, and he'll always be awesome. He is one of the. He's probably out of all the managers or people that how he acts now, essentially as a manager. He's the greatest actor of all of them. Yeah. Like you said, that he flips that switch. He goes from Paul Heyman to Paul Heyman. And, you know what I mean? And then, he's probably, him and Roman being together was such a good fit because they're both such good actors. And Roman.
Well, I think with Roman always had trouble on the mic, getting over on the mic, and giving him a mouthpiece. So when Roman did speak, the few words he is saying shows it has that much more importance, because you got Paul Heyman just chopping it up, having a good time, talking that shit, and Roman just has to say, "Acknowledge me." And that means way more than any promo he ever gave prior to that he sat there and memorized for a day. Acknowledge me has far more impact because he has Paul Heyman to do his shit talking for him, to gas him, be his cheerleader.
Well, I'll take what Garrett said just a step further. I think even though he wasn't a wrestler, he's probably one of the greatest wrestling minds to ever do it. I don't know. You could probably put some other people in there, but of course,
Bobby the Brain.
He comes to mind for sure. He's like
it's like him and Bobby the Brain.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like
even, and I'll probably get crucified for this, but even like Vince during the Attitude Era, to have the foresight and to have the balls.
Which Vince?
I'm talking about like Junior. Junior's the one who wanted to nationalize things and everything else. Like, we would not be here today. We would still we'd be asking Drew the updates on his territories right now.
Right.
And it's the truth too. Like, you're like, oh, so the Northeast Western Division is doing great, and I heard you guys are going to get Mike Skyros down in Ohio Valley next week. Like, it just being able to put it all into one has been a beautiful thing. And yes, WWE has kind of held the game by the balls for the last forever, but WrestleMania has been going on longer than I've been alive. You know what I mean? Like, it's 40 years, and I've seen a lot of hate against this, but starting off with Becky versus Rhea, I thought was great.
Genius. I loved it. Great match. And the right person won.
I agree.
I didn't think Becky had any chance in that.
Yeah, Rhea keeping it was best.
Yes, I agree. And I mean, that was a 17-minute match too. It wasn't like it was like, that's, especially for a girls match, that's a good long match. I mean, it went 20 seconds shorter than the 6-pack tag team match.
Right.
Wow, it was only that long. That's crazy to think about. I feel like that match was on for a while.
Right. But, like, so the Rhea and Becky, like, dude, they tore the house. And it was very smart for them to start off with a match that actually meant something. How many times have we sat through pay-per-views where it's like, all right, well, the first hour I don't really give a shit about because nothing really matters. And it's not until the last 2 or 3 matches that I actually give a shit. Starting off with something that actually was something people were looking forward to. I thought was great. I think both Becky and Seth both need a pause. Go be with your kid. Go chill out. You guys have been working nonstop since you came back. Seth, I think, still needs knee repair surgery. Let Becky be off with him. Let Rhea run with this for a while. Let her retain it for a while. And then when Becky comes back next year at Rumble, you have part deuce. Plain and simple. You have the storyline built in. And now you have a year, 8 months, 10 months to play with Rhea to fuck around with whoever else she wants to fuck around with.
Right. I mean, for a while, they didn't even have anybody for her.
What, buddy?
For a while, they didn't even have anybody for her. She was just helping the Judgment Day beat up other dudes.
Yeah.
Right. And you got to think Alexa's coming back sometime soon.
You think?
Yeah.
Yeah. Charlotte's coming back.
I would like Alexa to be back, but Columbus, But I don't know, man. I don't know what she's got left.
I think if they bring Uncle Howdy back and put her with him, that's what they need.
If they do that, that's like her only.
I like her dark, twisted character more than her
I do too.
Alexa Bliss.
I just
hard-ass character. Like, I don't know. She took that character with Bray and just was completely
it elevated the whole story. Yeah.
Yeah. So if Uncle Howdy fucking comes back, I definitely think they should put her like with him and just have them fucking wreak havoc.
Yeah. I'm with that.
So I'll give Rhea, Becky, I'll give them a solid 7.
Yeah.
Out of 7 or
7 out of 10.
Oh, 7 out of 10. Okay. I give it like a 8 out of 10.
Yeah, I had to agree with you. It was a good match. It was very well executed and planned out. There wasn't I don't recall there being a fucking like botches of any sorts or fuck ups really like in that one. Like I thought it was very smooth like butter.
Right.
And then next we have the 6-pack tag team ladder match.
I mean, I'm happy for my guy. But I did not see that coming. Obviously, I was like, hope those guys don't need it, whatever. And then they were like, R-Truth gets his WrestleMania moment, and I was like,
yeah,
I'll be damned.
So
crap.
I was in a group chat.
That guy.
You said awesome too,
dude. I was in a group chat with Samuels and our buddy Jay, the ones I went to SummerSlam last year with.
You're cheating on us?
No, they had me first.
Okay, all right.
You guys are the side bitches.
Well, if we go by that logic, I'm number 1 then.
Oh yeah, true. But Jay said it before. Like he goes, it's going to be Miz and R-Truth, and it's going to be in theory he's going to win. And I'm like, really? You think? He's like, yep. Mark my words. And God damn it, fucking dude, like. R-Truth, and that okay. Let's talk about R-Truth.
So good.
Even though R-Truth was going to assist Roman Reigns in beating me up, I don't think Drew's never heard this story. I'll tell it to you. I've told this story a couple times on the show, but I won't get into that now. This man still just fucking cracks me up. Like everything last night, like
oh yeah,
going up with the Judgment Day and Damian Priest just losing his mind. Like it just like going in the Women's Rumble, everything. Like I'm glad he got the tag belts, and like I love the Miz. I've always loved the Miz, and those two together, like I'm glad it ended up the way it did. Austin Theory, thank God, put a belt on him again, make him relevant again, because he's just been kind of wasting away himself. And he's far too good.
He needs to do something because he's going to be the guy. You know what I mean?
He's the future.
He was pushed too early. He is, however, going to be the guy. When he did the even deeper heel turn in like grew his beard out and was just pissed off at everybody. I was like, yes, this is it. Yes. Okay, now I'm with it. And do I think he needs tag titles? No, because you call me old school. Like,
school.
I really do feel that tag belts should be reserved. When you take two stars who aren't doing anything and put them together, it's not exactly a tag team.
I agree with that.
If they become a tag team and go the distance, like, New Day, okay, that's fine. But I don't think either tag team is going to have them for very long. I think they're both transitional to get it out of the undisputed tag championships, and to give especially Miz and Truth their WrestleMania moments, their flowers, they deserve that moment 100%. That's why I called it. It's why I wanted them to have it. But I don't think either team's going to have them for very long. So
I just want to throw this little bit in there too. Speaking of transitional tag teams that are just put together, you know what else I hate? When tag teams don't have matching outfits. That's all I wanted to say.
I can't argue with that.
You're not wrong. Yeah.
God, I just strongly dislike that.
And then I love this match. It was super entertaining. I'd give it an easy 9.
I'll give it a 9 because I'll be damned. My guy won it with R-Truth. I can't be mad about that.
Yeah. A lot of good ladder dumps and everything. Yeah. I loved how
You're right.
How Waller still with the belt on him got put through a ladder.
Yeah.
I mean, the spot was genius in my opinion. It's just like he's like, and then he's gone. He's through the ladder and does not get up for the rest of the match. Like, it was great.
The only botch I saw is that gimmick table just gave out.
Oh, that's right. Somebody said something about that in the chat.
Wait, wasn't it the street?
Was it you, Joe? Or was that the street fight?
That was the street fight. The fucking ladder almost broke when they were like climbing it, and the fucking ref was trying to like tell they were trying to tell him that, and
trying to tell Priest, wasn't he?
Yeah, Priest like I don't know if he knew what she was trying to do, but yeah, the side he wasn't on was like fucking like one side was like
yeah.
It was.
And once he noticed it, he dumped it, which was
yeah.
But he was like, he kind of yelled at the ref, back at the ref, and she's like,
yeah, because he went. They
went. You're gonna die. You're gonna fall. You know what I mean?
You're gonna get killed tomorrow. You don't tell me my business.
Yeah.
Tell me how to do my job.
So then we had the Latino division with their WrestleMania match.
I'll be honest, I like half watched that match.
Okay, here's the thing. The match that the match that they all had together like a few weeks ago, which was like the best match on Raw that's been there in a while, like that should have been the match that was on Mania, but it maybe dialed up even a little bit more, because that match was better than that Mania match. Not that the Mania match was bad. It just, we had already seen something very similar to it weeks prior, and it was technically better.
I just don't care. I don't care about the story.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's just
it doesn't have it doesn't have any real stakes right now, and I feel like there would be more stakes in it if they never got rid of the cruiserweight title.
I don't care about the storyline. I don't like. Oh no, is Dominic going to stay at Judgment Day, or is he going to switch over? Like, I don't know. It's like the self-contained thing that has no effect on really anything outside of it. it's boring. Like, and you have such a talented cast of characters there.
Way too talented.
Right.
And it's like, I don't know.
I think they'll all get, because it's all on one show, and I think that they're one of them will go to SmackDown in the draft, because we can't forget that the draft is coming, so that like we're going to see people split up and move. So I think if I had to guess, probably Legato's probably going to go to. Are they all on SmackDown or are they all on Raw?
I think most of them are SmackDown.
I think it's all SmackDown. So I think they're all. I think the heel team will go to Raw. I think.
I just want to say this. I miss Lucha Underground.
Yeah.
That whenever I watch that, it makes me miss Lucha Underground, and like you already brought up, the Cruiserweight belt was like, man, you guys could do so much cool stuff, but you got rid of that.
Yeah. Well, it's
the timing always seems to be off when they bring in this type of talent.
Right.
It just doesn't make sense.
The Cruiserweight Classic was one of the best things that Triple H did, and one of the best original things that WWE had done in a while. And they're really missing their opportunity to put not only like an important belt that could be the focal point for those two groups right now. It could have literally been it changing hands between all different people in that group, but also other people that you might also want to, important people you might want to put gold on, like Ricochet or
Lucha Underground
or Finn Balor.
My God.
Like people who
Johnny Gargano, Tommaso Ciampa.
Yeah.
Those guys would kill in the Cruiserweight.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, or it might even also be a good idea. I'm not a fan of too many belts, but a Cruiserweight tag team division might also be a good thing if you have that many people. It's whatever. What do I know? What do I know? I've only been a fan for 33 years.
I forgot what we were talking about, like what match. I remember because the one thing. Listen, it's been a long day.
It's all good. We get it.
The one thing that really confused me, and maybe because I again half paid attention through like the shows when they were doing those, like that storyline, is like I swear to God, the last time I saw like Andrade was like chilling with the Judgment Day, and then all of a sudden he was like fucking Ray's partner. I'm like,
well, he was trying to recruit. I don't know. He was like trying to recruit Dominic, and then he turned face in that match. I don't know. I didn't get it. It
just didn't make sense. Like I said, like for a couple of weeks, it was like, hey, Andrade is gonna fucking chill with the Judgment Day and shit, and they're gonna like whatever. And then all of a sudden, he's like, no, I'm over here. It's like,
and then all of a sudden, he was a face, and it's just. Yeah. And again, that was another space that should have gone to Carlito that he got passed over for twice. Shouldn't have gone to Dragon Lee, and then it shouldn't have gone to Andrade. It should have been Carlito the entire time.
And speaking of Dom, not to sidetrack, but a little bit, I think it was Friday, the Pat McAfee show was at WrestleMania. So I was watching it and shit. And Rhea was on there, and Pat said something to her about just getting rid of Dom. Why don't you get rid of him or whatever. And let's see, I think she wrote it down. Get rid of him so they would never have to see him again. And if she did, he would quote unquote would probably be at that other place in front of like 600 people. Like, ooh, nice, Mr. McAfee. And then,
wow, shots fired.
Rhea said Dom's the GOAT, and then Cole replied with, "He looks like a goat."
That's
Like, that was good. I watched a bunch of that. It was actually really cool. So anyway, not to sidetrack, but that was some funny shit when I was watching it Friday.
That's funny. I mean, so the match wasn't terrible, but it also
if I could have fast forwarded through it,
I mean, it was well wrestled.
Bruce Uso.
This match, I'm going to be honest, I felt let down by this match.
Hold on, I got to pull this back over again.
I'm like, I thought this was going to be like, I was really looking forward to it, and maybe that's why. But like, I really thought I was going to be a banger. But like, the best part of the entire match was the lull in it, where Jimmy's begging him to stop because he said he was sorry. Like, it was the acting. That was the best part. The rest was like the wrestling had no storytelling in it. They had to go to actual storytelling to get any point across. And I'm like, I thought this was going to be unbelievable. I thought this was going to be incredible. And maybe they dialed it down so that later on, if they have like a mid-card title match or a world title match against each other, that's when the banger is. But
the issue with having Jimmy and Jay wrestle each other is you are having essentially the same wrestler wrestle themselves. And like, that's not even because they're twins. It's like, besides the fact they're twins, they do the same moves, they do everything the same. So that's why
the Samoan Young Bucks.
They had these crazy bangers and these barn burners. They're always with somebody who wrestles completely different than them. And that kind of variety gives you those burners. With this, like, the moves were great. We understood the story. Let's move on. Like, it just...
They were trying to make it special, like fucking hearts and fucking, the hearts. They were trying, but it wasn't, I don't know. There wasn't really a build-up.
It wasn't Brett versus Owen is the problem.
Exactly, yeah. It wasn't Jeff versus
and nothing ever will be.
No.
It is the thing. And hold on. Okay, nothing ever will be. That could be. But it needs to be like for a title.
It needs to be done correctly for
it. It needs to be for a title, and it needs to be like, I don't know, handled differently. But it was lacking somewhere. And it was hard to put. I mean, you did a good job, Joe, describing it, but it still feels like more could have been done, and I just didn't. So
yeah,
it didn't get
kind of like a meh match.
Yeah,
it was kind of like it was there. I didn't hate it. I wasn't gonna fucking go out and start a blog about it either.
Yeah,
I give it a 6.
Then we had the women's tag match. Jade, Bianca, Naomi versus Damage Control.
I mean, that was just going to be obvious who was going to win that shit.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And it was almost... I don't know. It was, when they do those like promos on Raw where like Nia Jax and Braun Strowman come down and just kind of like toss the person they're going to be fighting around to just have that show of force. Yeah. I feel like that's what this whole match was. Like, hey, she's here. This is her show of force. Da, 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 da. I don't know. The match, like, it was good. It just, maybe I'll appreciate this more 3 months down the line with wherever the storyline goes. But right now, it didn't really do anything besides, look, Damage Control sucks, and they're going to continue to suck.
They're good at selling.
No, I mean, like, they suck, like, as, like, people.
I know what you mean, but I'm just saying that just was really a showcase of them being able to show out for the other team. Honestly, right. That's all they did.
Yeah.
But I also find it funny, I mean, Jade was such a big thing in AEW and whatever. Like, she hasn't, like, she's been more with, like, people than she has by herself. Last night, she, destroyed Chelsea Green in, like, 10 seconds. And, so to me, that's not a match. Like, it's a match in the books and on the records, but, like, to me, that's not a match. That's just
it's like, okay, Ryback.
Yeah, like, basically.
Feed me more.
But yeah, so it was kind of weird that
she was super nice to me and Joe.
Yeah, he's a great dude.
Oh, I don't doubt that he's super nice. I'm just saying within the confines of the story. Yeah.
I
got no problem with that.
Randomly, like I was like, "How's this dude gonna be?" He was super nice to us.
I'm Skip Sheffield from Oklahoma.
Dude, I hung out with him for like a half hour in the back, just sitting there. He was talking about living in Vegas and shit. We're in the hallway of like a second grade classroom where the show's going on in the gymnasium, and I'm sitting there with Ryback talking about Vegas. Weird life.
Yeah.
But I also think that Jade should be cast as Storm for the MCU. Dude, I saw
she should be maybe not Storm, but maybe, or even if she's not Storm, one of the variants, the one that's the vampire, she should be that one.
Okay, I'd be on board with that one.
I'd be cool with that.
She's not.
Right? Is Bloodstorm? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
That variant? Yeah.
I think so. But you're gonna need somebody else to actually play Storm. No offense to her acting skills. I'm just,
Yeah, it's true.
And she's a doctor. Anybody know that?
She is?
She's a psych. She's a psych doctor.
No shit.
That's awesome. Good for her.
Yeah. And how about my boy Sami Zayn?
Dude.
Another one. Holy crap.
Holy
crap.
I wanted Sammy, obviously. Okay.
Yeah, me too. But I was like, no way, not yet.
And I wasn't really sure, okay, until the brainbuster on the buckle. And I was like,
it's happening.
It's going to happen. But, because sometimes we've all been watching long enough to know when you see a certain move, you're like, oh my God, they're going to do it.
You stand up.
Going to see it. And I was like, but for him to not only for him to give Gunther that big of a person that move, but for Gunther to take that move on the buckle, I was like,
he's a pro's pro.
Oh, but it was great. There was more storytelling in that match than there was in the Uso match.
Well, it's Sammy.
You know what I mean?
A master. Sammy. Look at everything Sammy's ever been a part of, and
he elevated the bloodline.
Right, like
he elevated the bloodline.
He did.
Right.
Samoan single-handedly.
Honestly, we would never have gotten to where we were this past weekend without Sammy holding up the bloodline for about 3 months.
He was so oozy.
It's true.
He was more oozy than anybody.
I have that shirt.
Even in the final boss.
Drew, I have that shirt.
That's awesome.
But I'm so glad that Sammy got it.
Yeah.
Me too. I'm super. He put in the work, dude. He deserves it. But again, he seems like a good company guy, and it doesn't seem like, I probably will say this a lot, but he doesn't need the belt. He's so over. He just is good. Period. But I'm glad he has it.
Oh, 100%.
Maybe I want to set Gunther up already to be one of Cody's first adversaries. Maybe not right off the bat, but work towards it.
Yeah. We'll get to that after about where I think we're going. But I'm so glad Sammy won that. And then we got into our main event for night one. How did you guys feel about this? I'm very curious to see how you guys felt about this.
I would have preferred the shenanigans on night one. I'm not going to complain about what we got on night two.
Yeah.
So I essentially, because of how everything played out, I have no complaints. Because especially what they're going to, after the promo last night, what they're obviously going to set up. It's like, okay, yeah, you beat Roman, but the night before I beat you. So, I was all right with it, given the results of night two. So
Todd, how did you feel about it?
I enjoyed it. I mean, it was obvious who was going to win because honestly, if they didn't, I don't know. I think the main event of night two would have been like, yeah, he finished the story, but it would just been like, hey, here's a good wrestling match, and you finish the story, and right on. Like, it just, everybody else involved added a little bit to it. You know, each person added like a little bit more. Another like, oh shit, another, you know. But, you know, it was a good match from what I can remember. My brain is fucking fried. And, you know, it set it up for, then it was like, all right, so what's going to happen? What is exactly going to go on tomorrow night? You know, which was also the nice part too, because it left you wondering, you know, and thinking and fucking coming up with your own shit in your head.
Is Roman really going to walk away second time?
Exactly, because that's the thing.
No one was 100% sure.
Yeah, and you do blood, you know.
Like, Joe, you can't even tell me you were 100% sure.
No, I absolutely wasn't. That was part of my anxiety going into two, is because it made so much sense that they 100% had to let Cody win. That's when they would swerve us, like, and that's what I honestly. And like, I'm sitting there with the kids, and I told Logan, and I'm like, dude, we might be getting swerved. And he's like, no. It might happen. So going off what Todd said, it was a good match. I was very like happy during it. Like, and then like, I knew what the outcome was, but I think what I wasn't expecting was it to be very forgettable. Like, it wasn't, like, we all remember moments of even insignificant matches, like when Shane and Taker did Hell in the Cell and Shane jumped off and missed Taker, you know, like, that's out of my mind. Like there's nothing in this match, whereas in night two, there are moments in night two that stick out in my mind. There's nothing in this match very much like the Uso match where I was like, dude. Like, it was just like, oh, yep, okay, knew that, Rollins, because his knee's hurt, he's going to be out of the match most of the time, and it's going to be Cody taking the brunt of it. Like you kind of knew how it was going to play out, and there's just nothing stuck out. Like, this was probably an even bigger letdown than the Uso match to me, because I, like, expected something, like...
Yeah.
A rock bottom off the top rope, something, you know, like, and this just didn't.
Rock's in his 50s. I don't know if he's going to do that. You know, like, I mean, he did well.
I was going to say, for someone who hasn't wrestled in 8 years, I know he's done things, but not, you know, giving somebody a rock bottom or the people's elbow isn't wrestling.
Right.
He was on point. I don't want to be like, oh, it seemed like he never stopped, but it was very close to not being like, that's been 8 years. Like, he's still doing that, you know, like that was the, you know, impressive, because we all have seen people come back and they can't, or they just have such bad like ring rust. And it's like, damn, you knew you were going to be in this main event and you're botching shit and you're missing fucking whatever's.
We'll get a couple of those manias with Taker. Like, a couple of those manias when Taker came back. Like, he definitely.
Oh yeah, no, those were not. That was highly unadvisable, and why they did it.
He should have stopped soon, or like the Kane and Undertaker versus Triple H and Shawn Michaels match.
That should never happen.
It sounds wrong to say. It feels wrong to say, but it was terrible.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like, those are four goats. You know what I mean? Like, and it shouldn't have happened. So,
yeah. So, yeah, night one. Overall,
I mean, that night still got
started off with a bang.
You know, tag match was great. You know, I'd give it a B plus. Night one.
Yeah,
you know?
I can't argue with that. Like, it was.
I give night one a B plus.
It wasn't the greatest, but it by far was not the worst I've seen them put out.
Right. But night
it definitely
two,
left me wanting more. But with these 2-part shows, you can do that with having
right?
night 1 and 2.
Yeah, because you're going to look at everything as a whole. So then night two,
which kicked off with Seth freaking Rollins,
who went 0 for 3 in WrestleMania, by the way.
yeah, and Drew McIntyre.
Honestly, the match was longer than I thought it would be.
So
I thought Seth was going to come out all bandaged up, and then get like 2 claymores in the beginning, and then just be out because he's already beaten and broken.
right,
Yep.
and like honestly, for somebody who has a legitimate injury to be involved in 3 different matches throughout the weekend speaks volumes, I think.
That's why he was like waddling out after the main event. Like,
but what I didn't
dude, like I'm not even trying to make fun of him. Like,
yeah, no, you can clearly tell like that guy needs a break.
What was his entrance?
I don't know, but I believe there was
it's
a
like
reference
somebody
to Adam
found
Rose.
a box of like leftover Lays from like the Godfather era,
So,
and
you know
like,
what?
handed them out to people.
Well, I said it was like Adam Rose's thing, right? Well, I think Adam Cole makes a joke.
He does.
About a gimmick from NXT. So it's either him or No Way Jose who used a kind of similar gimmick with extra people on the outside of the ring.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because he did say something about he's like it reminds me of something from NXT or something like that. So I didn't know. Yeah, I didn't know if it was a fucking Adam Rose shot or if it was No Way Jose.
That's funny. But so what I loved about this is, all right, McIntyre wins. You know, he's got the belt. The way they played it,
so good.
Like CM Punk, it was almost like a triple threat match. The amount he was involved in this thing,
right.
And what I loved about what they did with this, McIntyre screwed himself over by going back and talking to Punk, because if he would have just walked off, Priest would never come out and cashed.
Yeah.
So it was his own hubris.
Yeah,
it was his own hubris, and Punk even like laughed. He was laughing even harder, and it like that storytelling there did far more than what the match did. Like, because at that point, everybody's like, Rollins is done, he's losing it. But what they did there was so masterful that, like, I now care about this, where before this weekend...
You didn't care about it before?
Not too much.
What? Come on.
It was like the same recycled garbage that, like...
No.
But now... It's got that layer to it. Now I'm like, ooh, give me a fork, pass the coffee. I'm going to eat this cake. You know what I mean? I'm going to town on this. I like this. I know. So, like, I thought it was great. And then we had our Philadelphia street fight, which I didn't realize until the match started that Bubba Ray was the referee.
Oh, yeah, he's...
Did it? Really?
I had no idea. And then he comes out, and my youngest goes, Dad, isn't that Bubba Ray Dudley? And I'm like, no, he was at the Hall of Fame. And then he turns, I'm like, oh, shit, that is Bubba Ray. I'm like, okay.
I didn't know either, and I was like, wait a second. What? This is awesome.
What?
Yeah.
Come on, guys.
They announced it at the beginning.
Honestly,
it was also that.
far more entertaining than I thought it was going to be.
It was a good match.
Like, this definitely impressed me far more than I thought it was going to.
The table breaking, that was funny. That was just funny.
I mean that's a regular like mishap. You know, you can't. It's like you can't blame it on anybody. It's like, but
it was funny though. It was funny.
Not that it was a bad match. I still think that the Pride should have lost, because I don't think they actually technically need the win as a group. I think Final Testament needed it, because what it's going to do is serve to push that real faction down, because they could be a real faction if they push them. Yeah. And I think Final Testament needed it for them to elevate them and then I think the Pride needed to lose so that Montez Ford could branch out on his own, so that he could attack the other two and move out on his own, because he has United States champion written all over him, and he needs to move on. I have nothing against Dawkins. I know that they've come in as a tag team, and but if they're not going to be champs, then they need to move on, and Montez Ford needs to be the one that's pushed first, and then Dawkins needs to come after him later, for turning on him. But they're not doing any of them any justice right now, because none of those storylines are going to go anywhere after this point.
Nope.
No, it's done. And where any of them going to go from there now, at all. Final Testament can't be looked at as serious when they can get beat by the Pride,
And also, they look like the Judgment Day.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Like, I'm all for factions. I love factions. I've always loved factions. But having these like mid-card factions that are kind of like ripoffs of the big factions, like, no, like, find your own gimmick or get with the other faction and make a bigger faction. Like, I don't know, but like,
maybe they will.
I hope so.
Maybe they'll inflate before they implode.
Like, I don't know. Like, I didn't care about the storyline, but the match itself, I found far more entertaining than I thought it was.
Yeah.
Then we had LA Knight versus the phenomenal one.
Yeah.
Jay Styles with a new theme song that I couldn't really hear.
Yeah.
You gotta wait for like a whatever SmackDown to actually be able to hear it.
It was a great match.
Great match.
Good match.
Right person.
And actually I want to talk about like the trailers they ran before. I think part of the reason why I was so pissed about the Uso match, because the trailer they ran before the Uso match, what got me so hyped for the Uso match.
Right?
Like,
it was the best trailer of all the trailers.
I'm my brother's keeper, and then it ends with I'm not my brother's keeper. Phenomenal. And then like I loved the trailer for the LA Knight AJ Styles match. It like made me I wanted to see them wrestle, but like the storyline, like, oh no, he's showing up at your house. Haven't seen that like a billion times before.
Yeah.
The whole thing made no sense. He attacks him in fucking elimination chamber.
If they wanted to do he's showing up at your house, they should have built a mock house and have him drive through it Lethal Weapon style. Okay?
Oh, God. Yes.
All right? That's how you make new good TV. He's sitting in his house. It just looks like a regular dining room. And LA Knight just drives in through the dining room. Yeah. Hey, having dinner? Yeah. And then they're on it. Like, yeah, that's you want to sprinkle something new on something older. That's how you do it.
Rip off a movie. Got it. That's how we sprinkle something new on it.
Yeah. But it had been done, and it's one of those things where the first time it was done, people were like, "Holy shit!" He showed up at his house. Oh my god! Da da da. And it's kind of, unfortunately, it's one of those one and done thing, because after that happens, and then whatever, and then Dom and Rhea, and then you're just like. It's probably not really where they live, because they're not going to just show that shit on TV.
Yeah.
So I mean, you just want to do it, but it
well,
is.
Actually, when Rollins and Edge had a program a couple of years ago, Rollins actually went to Edge's house. Actually, that was one of the best ones because Edge wasn't home. And it's just Rollins being like super dramatic and creepy, like, oh, look at the picture your kids drew of you. Like, dude, it was awesome. Like, this just like, and like, I didn't even knock on the door. He was like beeping the horn outside. Like, it wasn't even like,
or if they wanted another funny way to do, or another would be like to do it like Talladega Nights style, Like they walk in their house and someone else is already there. Like just like making pancakes in their kitchen. You know, what are you doing in my house? You know, what are you doing in my house? You know.
Yeah, it's even like throwing people off the top of the cell. You know what? Foley, Foley and fucking Undertaker did that. That was the shit. Everybody lost their mind, thought the dude was dead. And then fucking they did to Rikishi into like a truck with hay. And then Shane's jumped off it a gazillion times. You know, it's one of those things where you just expect it, and that kind of takes the fun out of it.
Right. They've got one thing left, and that should just be like, there should be a stack of tables in the ring. And then someone goes through that, and then through all the tables. And then that's the last one. And then we've essentially done everything. And then we got nothing left. You know what I mean?
Didn't New Jack do that to somebody?
Huh?
Didn't New Jack try to kill that dude? Throw him off the scaffolding? What ECW was that? Was that their first pay-per-view? New Jack throws the dude out. You can hear him go, ah! And he barely escapes from that, I think.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
But you could do it under more safe circumstances now.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
All right, so then we have Logan Paul.
I hated this match, but not because it was bad.
Do you know what I love about this? Roman Reigns has like an orchestra playing for him, okay? Kevin Owens gets a golf cart that he puts in reverse and picks up Randy Orton to go to the ring for.
And he almost fucking killed Orton. Like, Orton almost flew off that shit.
Like, we knew where this match was going. I wish... Okay, I can, like, love to hate a character and enjoy their program and just hate the shit out of them. Logan Paul is actually a great wrestler. I just don't like him. And it's not like in a good wrestling, I hate your character kind of thing. I don't like the dude. And he just, like, I don't know. It's like reaching in a box of frosted donuts and pulling out a plain donut. Like, you don't want to do it. Like, you'll eat it because you have to. You got to touch the donut. You got to eat it. But there's no frosting on it. And you really wanted frosting. And Logan Paul's not frosting to me. If that makes sense to anyone.
Yeah. No.
It actually makes sense. I know exactly what you mean.
I'm blinded by my allegiance, so I like him.
I like him. I knew, going into the other two that he was going to walk away still as the champ. I think he'll lose it at SummerSlam, and I'm hoping that the next person he gets into a program with is LA Knight.
Oh, yeah.
I would really love it if LA Knight took it from him.
Yeah.
That's what needs to happen. The next program needs to start, like maybe after Backlash, and take it all the way to SummerSlam, and LA Knight needs to take it from him at SummerSlam. That's what I think. I hope that's
I like that.
Here's what annoys me about it. Like Joe said, like, Logan Paul is a good wrestler, which is shocking because he's not a wrestler. But I'm also like more about you need to earn a title. Like you need to be there for a period of time. You need to put in the bumps in the matches or whatever. So it's more mind-boggling to me that Logan Paul has a title before someone like LA Knight has it. Where that poor bastard had to be Max Dupree for a fucking while. Like that guy deserved the title just because he had to deal with that character. But, so he went from Knight to this weird character back to Knight and has put in the work, had crazy matches, Bray Wyatt, blah, blah, blah. And here comes Logan Paul, and within, however long of not being there, he gets a fucking title and has had it for more time than he should have. Those are the things that annoy me. Like, he is a good wrestler, which it was shocking, but good to see that a celebrity actually, like, could do it. But to me, it's an earned thing. You need to put in that time and effort and energy. And then you raise the question, man, does he have a title because Prime's paying them a bunch of fucking money. Like,
there is. I think it's a combination of a lot of things. I think it's, he is wrestling well, but you're right. He hasn't technically earned it yet. However, having a celebrity who is a good wrestler, having your title and doing a ton of heel shit with it is, in an odd way, elevating. Like, that is elevating that title, in my opinion, more than like Bobby Lashley ever could.
Defend your boy, Drew. Come on, Drew.
I'm just waiting for everyone to be done talking so I can say
go, Drew. Go.
So
light him up.
You got to think we're in a new era, right? And I don't mean because the Paul Levesque era. I just mean he has a lot of followers online.
That's what I'm saying.
So that brings a lot of eyes to the product, in conjunction with him owning Prime, him and his brother doing all these things and getting eyes for whatever. And he's good at wrestling. Like, what? This is like too many good things in one person, which I know he's done some things in his past, but but it's just like, it's mind blowing that he was that good at wrestling, right? But I understand what you're saying. There's a lot of people that are probably disgruntled, but from a business perspective, you have to be like, that was it. That was a good move.
That's what I'm
doing. He does so much for it.
Yeah, I'm with it, but and I think it's doing a lot to elevate it right now, more than other people had, and I think that's why I think the perfect person to take it off him is the megastar.
Is someone who has earned it.
Yeah, it's LA Knight.
Way to build that.
It has to be LA Knight. It has to.
Yeah.
For LA Knight at SummerSlam for the title, it has to be. It's perfect.
He also did all the video or the video capture and stuff for all the wrestlers, didn't he? Yeah. Was he The Rock and Triple H and all those people? So like, this dude's, he's been in the industry for a while, and this is all he has to show for it, is being King of the Mountain champion. Eli Drake, yeah, dummy. Like, what? That's all he's had. That's ridiculous to me.
Yeah, it's true.
Bailey versus Io Sky.
Perfect.
Oh man,
I'm glad that Bailey won. I like her.
Bailey. I don't know if this is, a lot of people don't talk about her, but as much as everyone was always like, oh, like, the four horsewomen, it was like, no, it's Charlotte, no, it's Becky, no, it's I can't stand her. But like, what about Bailey? Bailey's quite possibly the GOAT when it comes to just like female wrestlers. Like, she's great.
You're proclaiming Bailey the GOAT right now.
No, I'm asking.
He did say it. He did say it.
He was recording.
Is she the GOAT? Is she quite possibly the GOAT?
I'm not arguing with you. I'm just saying, if that's your proclamation,
because I also
show, Bailey is the GOAT. Garrett is now the #1 hugger, guys.
Nice. I expect a side pony next time we do this.
Yeah, it was really good because Io is so good. Io is such a good wrestler. This match couldn't have been anything less than a 9.
Yeah, I agree.
This match was great.
They couldn't have done less than 9 if they tried, in my opinion. Right. So yeah, it was great. It was great. It was perfect. She gets her win at Mania. She gets to be the WWE Women's Champion. It's perfect. Perfect.
And then Tony's champ. He's the champ. He finished the story.
It was just so perfect in so many ways. And I heard, I saw some complaints, not from anyone here, but from other friends, from online, about like, there's too many other people in the match, they're overbookedness, or however you want to say it. It was, to me, it was perfect because it was all of the bloodline BS that they pulled coming back to bite them in the ass. Okay, now you can just say, okay, the match that they did prior to all the shenanigans starting was great, right? Which it was. It was a very good match, but then every piece that happened with each person was perfect. Jimmy comes in, one kick. Then Jay comes out. They fight, but then Jay spears him off the thing and through tables, which honestly was better. That was better than their match.
Their whole match.
It was better than their whole match, right? But then Solo comes in, and then Cena, who he had a problem with last, he comes out and he handles him, right? And he gives him the attitude adjustment through the Spanish announcement, so like, and then
about time, damn it.
And then here comes The Rock. He's handling it. Seth tries to come out. Seth tries to come out, but it fails. But then
Where did he get those
shows
pants?
up. And like, I know everyone was expecting something cool, but when you think about Undertaker and you're like, oh yeah, like not only all the way back to The Rock with everything, but Roman was one of the people that beat him at Mania, so why not? And then the great aesthetic part of it is that the light goes off, like he chokeslam him, the lights go off, and then it comes back on, and the only people in the ring are Cody and Roman. And then it happened. And it was friggin' beautiful and perfect. And it was just like, oh my God, he's going to hit him with more spears, and everyone's just going to have to fucking acknowledge this dude forever. This is going to suck.
I seriously, there was a part of me that was like, they're fucking going to swerve us.
They're going to swerve it.
You're bending over with no lube and just getting pounded, okay? That's what I thought was going to happen. But then, the only way this whole entire series of events could have been better is if you would have taken Rollins out and put Stone Cold in. That's the only way. And I'm wondering if there was some kind of scheduling conflict, whatever, because even he had kind of hyped something up the week previous.
Right.
So I don't know if it wasn't cleared. I don't know. I'm sure we'll find out.
Because they should have had Stone Cold come out and handle The Rock, but then still had Taker come out and chokeslam Roman. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We needed Roman to be there to lose.
I wanted to see The Rock sell the shit out of a stunner one more time.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Because he would have ended up like outside the ring, halfway up the ramp, over in the fucking crowd. Like,
okay, real quick.
He would have
sold The Rock or Scott Hall?
Who sold it better?
Yeah.
The Rock.
The stunner.
I had to say The Rock, just the many times he did it. Like,
we had a lot of practice. Scott Hall had a small amount of time.
Scott Hall
because he only had so many. But if you were because when you think of it from The Rock, you think of all the times he did like the back roll to the handstand.
Yeah.
But Scott Hall's bounce in like midair freeze was like for like, I don't know if he got stunned like maybe more because you never see any other one and I can't really remember, but like I would put that stunner cell up against any other. It's like Scott Hall, Rock, Shane O'Mac, and Triple H and Shawn Michaels. All those five, there's nobody better at taking stunners than those five people.
Okay, yeah.
So,
I mean, I thought that stunner pretty good.
I wasn't
that's a good point.
positive that we weren't getting swerved until Cody stood up and was shaking Roman. And I was like, okay, he's going to hit him with the third one, and that's it. And we got it. And I was watching it downstairs with my sons, and we were all like, yes!
Yeah, it's where we were over here.
I knew Cody was winning the moment he came out because he was about in tears. He knew his moment was coming.
Yeah.
He knew what was happening. It was like, you saw that, and I was like, that's a guy who knows he's going to win. I was like, he's doing this for his dad. He's doing this for his family. He's doing this because they told him he wasn't good enough. He was Stardust, and then he went and did his thing and came back. Like, that is a huge full circle moment for him. So the moment he came out, I was like, this dude's winning. I was like, no doubt in my mind.
And it like I said, the way they told everything was pitch perfect. Like, it told the story, and then it left just the two of them in the ring. So there's no doubt who's winning it. You know what I mean? There's no doubt who is the champ. And when Cody hit him with that first one, I go, Logan's right next to him. He's going to do three. He's going to do three. And then still has him. And then he hits the three. And then the three of us are like, 1, 2, and we just went nuts. And I think something that really did show a lot for both nights is the first night having Triple H open it up, giving that little speech, and then night 2, Stephanie doing the same thing. And she's back with the company now. They haven't specified what the role is.
It's fine.
But bring her back. And because I've always loved Steph. It went from Boyhood Crush to I would be her intern.
I see where this is going.
She is a McMahon, you know. Whoa.
No, Joe, I'm not going to do any of those things just because you're the intern. But come on!
But this match for me was the match of the weekend, as it should have.
Yeah, it was match of the weekend. It's so far match of the year. Anywhere you put it up against anything, everyone, including the losers, everyone deserves this.
Right.
You know what I mean? It was great on every level.
Yeah.
By every not to quote Triple H, but by every level, every metric, the match was great. It gave everyone everything that they needed. It sewed up every storyline thing from the past 3. In all reality, Sammy should have came down too. Sammy should have came down and Haluva kicked Roman at one point when he was trying to get up in the corner.
One?
He should have gotten up when he
I acknowledge you.
When he ran in and Superman punched Seth, he should have stayed in the ring and just been in the corner. And Sammy should have ran up out of nowhere and Haluva kicked him. You know what I mean? Only for The Rock to punch him out of the ring or something. But he was really the only missing piece of the actual all of the storylines.
How do you like this for a swerve?
Something to do with it. That's
Sammy comes down and Haluva kicks Cody instead, and then throws up the one, and then Roman pins up.
I'm back, baby.
Worst swerve of all time, dude. They would have burned. Philly down
to the bloodline.
They would have burned that place to the ground.
Yeah,
forget about Santa Claus.
Philly wouldn't exist right now.
Yeah, no. Eagles would have.
They would know what we're playing now.
All right, we got about 5 more minutes before I have to get ready for work. So
work.
All right, there was a couple of super things I wanted to whatever.
Because I have 17% left on this tablet. So.
Okay. So there's going to be a new NXT Women's North American Championship.
Okay.
Righteous.
Nice.
Ava Rain announced that the other day. So not much. It literally has been announced and they showed it, but they're going to have,
tournament
matches, et cetera, et cetera.
Yes. I would like to watch NXT more, but obviously, like, we also now air when it's on, so it's hard to watch it live. But if they have a stacked enough women's card,
yeah,
then
Keith Lee was spotted at the Hall of Fame.
Ooh.
And also, speaking of Hall of Fame, the only other clips besides some of the Paul Heyman ones that I saw were two that I wish I didn't see. Bo and his sister, and then the U.S. Express, like at the end when they had everybody turn their phones on, they played Bray's song. Like,
yeah, I heard that.
It was because that's like one of the first things I'm like watching when I got up Saturday morning. I'm like, this isn't a way to start my day.
I used to like Saturdays.
Speaking of Saturday, also Stand and Deliver was also excellent. By the way,
we
watched it. We had it on. Stand and Deliver was also excellent. NXT is doing better. Not ever since the black and gold era ended, it hasn't been the same. But I say right now it's probably the best it's been since then. Like
it'll start heading back that way. I think
the past few months
here we're gonna get a lot of better wrestling from the WWE product.
Yeah, they don't have to worry about so much stuff anymore. So hopefully,
the only discrepancy is. I really like Sean Spears. I don't think he should have lost to Joe Gacy, but I really like Sean Spears. So
I do too.
I think he deserves a lot, in my opinion. So
it's true.
That's it. Overall, both nights together.
Great Mania.
I give it an A+.
YouTube channel.
A+.
I said, check out our YouTube channel.
Oh, yeah. Our YouTube channel's up there. It's at Niche Nerd Network on YouTube. Our first episode is already on there. Next week, we'll be able to stream via YouTube. So right now, this episode, I will upload it tomorrow.
What do all the kids say? Go like and subscribe or some shit?
Yeah. Smash the like button and subscribe.
I'm old.
Yeah. We should tell people to just give it a different wrestling move every week. Like stun that like button, rock bottom button.
Yeah, I like that. So go check that out. Follow us. We're awesome.
All right, guys. I will
be on the lookout for all the new shows that'll launch eventually. But
there's gonna be lots of content.
Slow going progress, but it'll get up there.
Thanks to Seasonal Sports.
See you guys next week.
Seasonal Sports. And who's the other? Seasonal Sports and somebody else?
And Garrett's
Golf Chiropractic.
What's that?
Golf Chiropractic.
There you go. So, yes.
We'll catch
y'all
next
week with the Macho Man.
That's King Macho Man? The Macho King.
Deuces.
Peace.
See everybody next week.
Bye.
Wrestle Fandom, holla.
You watching Wrestling Fandom Radio?